Remember to hit the unmute this time. Hey, welcome to Saturday Night Karaoke. My name is Chuck Tomasi. Thank you for joining me. It has been a long time, and I am glad to see you back here. This is the dangerous time because we've done a little software upgrade. We're on vacation. I'm relying on instinct instead of the checklist. So actually, I did go through the checklist. I think I've got everything, but there's always something that creeps up on you come back from a gap. It's kind of what, well, literally, I went on vacation and now I'm back. I'd have to trust the old noggin. Not sure if, just fair warning. On this show, sometimes anything and everything can go wrong. Could be internet bandwidth. It could be my own fingers pushing the wrong buttons. It could be forgetting to unmute. You never know. But I am Chuck Tomasi. As I said before, I am a software developer advocate. I like to sing karaoke. I try my best, but I am not a professional singer. So you're going to get what you get. We are taking a journey through the years as I happen to be home and available. We were, couldn't do this last week because I had a bit of a scratchy throat. It was I don't know if it was, we picked it up at the end of the cruise. I felt fine otherwise, but I sounded like a chain smoker. Okay, so wasn't going to sing for you like that. Couldn't hold some of the notes that are required in these songs. So back up to par. Got a little extra practice time this week. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Gonna have a fun time. This is a journey through the years, as I mentioned. 1983. I've got 7 songs for you. I have some history from Wikipedia that I will do during the interstitial pieces. I think I just realized I forgot those special holidays. Might have to do that one live, or I'll get it to you next time. See, I knew I forgot something. I forgot those interesting holidays at the end, like, hey, it's National Cream Cheese Day. So we'll figure it out next time when we get to 1984. Already putting together a list of songs for that. Haven't tried a whole lot of them out. Some of them I've sung before, some of them I haven't. So we'll see what happens. Enough of that. Let's get on with things. We were out for a couple of weeks on a Star Trek cruise. Actually, 2 Saturdays. We set sail on the 26th of February out of Port Canaveral. Had a great time, wonderful people, lots of activities, lots of stories. If you want to hear more about that, check out the podcast we do called The Topic is Trek. Yesterday, we put out a special episode with one of our Phoenix friends here, Sherilyn C.J. Jones. She was on the cruise for the 4th time. This is the 5th Star Trek cruise. This is our 3rd time, her 4th time. Had a lot of fun and sharing that. I will post some pictures to Facebook. We are waiting for the onboard photographers to start distributing some of their professional pictures rather than our, good old mobile phone where the lighting may not have been the best. We'll get a hold of those and we'll mix them in and I'll post them there. So thank you very much. We're already booked for the next cruise, by the way. Leaves out of LA, which I think is that way. I forget. Leaves out of LA February 24th. So Star Trek The Cruise 6 is going to be a Pacific Coast thing. With that, what do you say we get started on the first song? But before we get into the first song, you can see it's Michael Jackson, Billie Jean. Before we get into that, we have a trivia question. So if the technology gods are with us, let's push that button again. I want to know if you know what Michael Jackson's middle name is. Is it Joseph, David, Thomas, or Alonzo? Think you know? I'm going to give you during this song to try and figure it out, and I'm going to do my best Michael Jackson impersonation for Billie Jean. Okay, you ready for this? Hello, Sean and Della and Cindy are out there. She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who will dance on the floor in a round. She said, I am the one who will dance on the floor in a round. baby, we danced at 3. And she looked at me and showed a photo of baby crying. Eyes looked like mine. Cause we danced on the floor in a round, baby. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. Don't break no heart. She came and stood right by me when the smell is sweet perfume. This happened much too soon. And then she called me to her room. Hey, Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son. Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one, but the kid is not my son. No. She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son. You know she did, baby. Breaking my heart, baby. Billie Jean is not my lover. 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 Okay, see if I can find the right keyboard, the right cursor. And that takes care of it. Did you figure out what the trivia question was? Did you figure out the answer to the trivia question? The trivia question was, what is Michael Jackson's middle name? And why isn't it coming up? There it is. What is his middle name? His middle name is, in fact, come on, give me the thing. Joseph. Michael Joseph Jackson is Michael's middle name. We'll have another trivia question for you on the last song. I've got 7 for you this time. Normally I do 6, but hey, we're having fun. Let's have some fun together. And Mary says, hey, we sent a picture of your previous post. Class of 83 is listening. Tiffany, Della, Gina, Vel, Deb. Wow. Okay. It's a watch party. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Having a great time. And Christine says, hey, 83 peeps. I think now everybody has some of our personal identification information. They now know when we all graduated from high school. Della got it right. Joseph, Cindy got it right. All righty. Thank you, Ashan. Got this. And Steve and Teresa checking in. Steve and Teresa, I was thinking about you today because Carnival sent us a mailer. They're our Carnival cruise peeps. And when we were sailing out of Port Canaveral, we went right by the Carnival Mardi Gras. And what they're doing is they're recycling some of the early ship names. The Mardi Gras was the first ship that Carnival bought 50 years ago in 1972. And it was a much smaller thing. And we got a mailer that says, coming soon, the celebration. And that's the one that we first sailed on in 1993. But of course, much smaller boat at that time. This thing is a monster. Like, looked at it and went, wow. So lots of stuff coming up. And don't know if we'll make it on the celebration, but that would be kind of fun, maybe for a 35th wedding anniversary or 50th wedding anniversary, or whatever. We'll have some fun with that. All right, some info for you. Let me bring that down so we don't all go deaf with the music. Play. Is it this one? I think it's this one. Yeah, that's the history music, if I remember right. I don't know, it's been a few weeks. Exactly 4. We have the first quarter from 1983, January, February, March. Let me tell you a few things that happened back then. You can see what you remember. January 1st, the migration of the ARPANET to TCP/IP. I know a lot of people remember that, don't they? It's officially completed, and this is considered to be the beginning of the true internet in 1983. How about that? They got one protocol all down. January 10th, Canada and the United States launched the television series Jim Henson's Fraggle Rock as an educational co-production advocating tolerance. Who remembers Fraggle Rock? I think we were a little old to be watching that as kids. You know, we were about to graduate high school. January 26th, Lotus 123 is released for IBM PC-compatible computers. Ooh, that was the big thing until Excel came and killed it. It was VisiCalc, then Lotus 123. In fact, a lot of people would just say, hey, can you install Lotus on my machine? It just sort of had this moniker that they meant 123, they needed a spreadsheet. Oh, spreadsheets, what would we have done? January 31st, seatbelt use for drivers and front seat passengers become mandatory in the United Kingdom, not the United States. I think that's coming up. February 28th, the final episode of MASH airs, setting the record for most watched television episode and reaching the total audience estimated at 125 million, which remains unsurpassed. That's a lot of people. I'm surprised the Super Bowl or something hasn't exceeded that. One day later, March 1st, the first collection of 12 Swatch models was introduced in Zurich, Switzerland. Remember Swatch watches? Yep, that's where they came from. March 1st, 1983. March 8th, IBM releases the PC Model XT. So the PC, that's like 2 years after. And everybody's like, yeah, this would be a lot faster. It was the exact same speed. It was just a little more expandable than the original PC. Crazy stuff. March 9th, the 3D printer is invented by Chuck Hull. You think 3D printers are a fairly recent innovation? No, they are wicked old, almost 40 years old now. March 23rd, U.S. President Ronald Reagan makes his initial proposal to develop the technology to intercept enemy missiles. The media dubbed this Star Wars, they dubbed it Star Wars. It was called the Strategic Defense Initiative. Now we're starting to jog some memories. I know you remember this stuff. March 25th, Motown celebrates its 25th anniversary with the television special Motown 25, Yesterday, Today, and Forever, during which Michael Jackson performed Billie Jean and introduces the moonwalk. No, I wasn't going to do that for you on carpet in tennis shoes. It would have been a total disaster. So that's the way it was for January, February, and March. Kill the music. Of 1983. We'll have a little bit more history after the next song, and maybe we'll give you some stories out of this. Craig says, Swatch is internet time. No, I don't think that's how it works. Okay, who remembers the theme to Fraggle Rock? Something about dance your cares away, worries for another day. Okay, I didn't watch it on a regular basis. It's just one of those songs that sticks in your head. And Steve says, I still watch Bugs Bunny. Yes, even the banned ones that they don't play anymore. Craig watched it. Craig, you're like 5 years younger than me. So yeah, it would make sense you watched it when watched Fraggle Rock when it was live. I'm hearing something happening in another room. Hold on. Okay, I don't know. My wife was helping my daughter and son-in-law with taxes. I can't believe that would be a vocal thing, but maybe taxes becomes a vocal thing. What do you say we play another song, shall we? This one has about 10 seconds of lead in, so I'm going to skip that. Get right to the music. Sing this one with me. Look, I match. Highway run into the midnight sun. Wheels go round and round on my mind. Restless heart, sleep alone tonight. Sending all my love They say that the road ain't no place to start a family, Right down the line, it's been you and me. And loving a music man ain't always what it's supposed to be. Oh, girl, you stand by me. I'm forever yours, faithfully. Circus life under the big top world. We all need the clouds to make us smile. Through space and time, always another show. Wondering where I am, lost without you. And being apart ain't easy on this love affair. Two strangers learn to fall in love again. I get the joy of rediscovering you. Oh, girl, you stand by me. I'm forever yours, faithfully. Get out your phone. Okay, we got to work on the ending of that one. I don't like the way that one ends at all, but the other versions that I have were a little too close to the copyright, so I didn't want to get flagged. Sometimes when you listen to these things later, it says, this video is partially muted due to copyright infringement. I'm like, oh, well, okay, whatever. Certainly, I'm not doing that well. Craig, you're way too kind for a minute there. All right, Craig also lit a fire. Hopefully that was supposed to be his phone. Let's do, what do you say we do, what's next? April, May, and June from the History Archives. Play that funky music, white boy. All right, April 4th, the Space Shuttle Challenger is launched on its maiden voyage on STS-6. And we all know what happened to the Challenger much later, in 1986, just a few years later. April 13th, Minnesota's largest retailer, Target Corporation, expands into California, opening 11 stores. Now you gotta remember, Target, Kmart, and I think it was Walmart, all started like 20 years earlier in the 60s. So they're just breaking out at this point. Okay, Kmart is, of course, not a thing anymore. April 18th, Channel Broadcasting is founded by the Disney Channel. And in May, we have one event. Two separate research groups led by Robert Gallo and Luc Montagnier independently declared that the novel retrovirus may have been infecting people with HIV/AIDS and published their findings in the same issue of the journal Science on May 20th, 1983. So we're starting to get some science behind what's going on with HIV and AIDS. If you want to watch an interesting story that includes some of that information, Netflix has a 6-part series called The Andy Warhol Diaries. So gives you some insight into his life and his personality, and they talked to a lot of his friends that were around in that ecosystem. Towards the end, AIDS was a big thing in the 80s, and a lot of his friends were taken by that. He was not. I'm not going to spoil it for you if you don't remember exactly when and how Andy Warhol died. June 13th, Pioneer 10 passes the orbit of Neptune, becoming the first man-made object to leave the vicinity of the major planets of the solar system. So long, Pioneer 10. I thought it would have been one of the Voyagers, but I guess Pioneer was out there first. June 16th, Cork Graham is caught off the Vietnamese island Pha Quoc, looking for treasure buried by Captain Kidd. He is convicted and imprisoned until 1984 for illegal entry. Don't go treasure hunting without a license, apparently. How do you apply for a treasure hunting license anyway? Sally Ride becomes the first American woman in space aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger on STS-7. Wait a minute, they just launched Challenger. What did I say? In April 4th on STS-6, and then it went up again on June 18th. Okay, so 2 months later. That's a good turnaround time. That was June 18th of 1983, and that is what I have for you for April, May, and June. What's happening in the chat? Nothing since Craig lit his fire. Let's just show that again. That's fun. All right. Craig and I will be talking tomorrow night on Technorama. We've got our podcast that we've been running for, dare I say it, 17 years? And having fun every step of the way. So Technorama is our podcast. We talk about science and news and geek humor and whatnot. And I've got a special list for him tomorrow night called Book, Movie, or Band Name. I may have rearranged those words somewhere in the title. Movie, book, or band name. And I'm going to throw a word at him. Let's just say, we pick a Dr. Seuss title. Okay. I can't think of any right now. I'm too busy doing the karaoke thing. But I'll throw a word at him, and he has to guess whether it's the name of a book, a name of a band name, or the name of a movie. So we're going to have fun with that. He says 17 squared years. No. We might be squares, but 17 squared is a whole bunch. Maybe in dog years. Okay. Who remembers the safety dance, right? Okay. Very interesting dance that never really caught on. Men Without Hats. What do you say we try singing that one now? You have to dance to this one too. And you have to dance to the one that I sing by the Kinks. We can dance if we want to, or we can leave your friends behind. Cause your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine. Say we can go where we want to, a place where they will never find. And we can act like we come from out of this world, leave the real one far behind. And we can dance. We can go where we want to, not as young and so am I. And we can dress real neat from our hats to our feet and surprise them with a victory cry. Say we can act if we want to, if we don't nobody will. And we can act real rude and totally remove it, and I can act like an imbecile like usual. We can say we can dance, everything's out of control. We can dance, do it from pole to pole. We can dance, everybody look at your hands, not sure why. We can dance, everybody's taking the chance. Safe to dance, well, safe to dance. Yes, safe to dance. There's some weird lyrics in here, aren't there? We can dance if we want to, got all your life in mind. As long as we abuse it, never gonna lose it, everything will work out right. I say we can dance if we want to, we can leave your friends behind. Cause your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well, they're no friends of mine. I say we can dance, everything's out of control. We can dance, and do it from pole to pole. We can dance, everybody look at your hands. We can dance, everybody's taking the chance. Well, it's safe to dance. Yes, it's safe to dance. Well, 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 it's safe to dance. It's safe to dance. Yes, it's safe to dance. Yes, it's safe to dance. Oh, it's safe to dance. Well, it's safe to dance. Everybody look at your hands. That reminds me of the time when Craig finally saw the lyrics for Blister in the Sun by the Violent Femmes. Big hands, I know you're the one. He's like, what? That's the words. That's the words. Like, what does it mean? Don't know. Don't have to know. Terry says, hello, hello, Terry. And Joan is also chiming in saying, hi. Good to see you. Well, virtually. You're seeing me. I'm looking at a Sony camera. We'll see what happens with that. And Christine says, hey, good to see everybody. Thanks for joining. Certainly makes Saturday nights a whole lot more fun when we're all together and singing along. And let's do a little more history. It's time to test those old brain cells. These are the questions you got wrong in high school history. Maybe. All right. July, August, and September. Nintendo's family computer, also known as the Famicom, goes on sale in Japan on July 15th. Later to be known as the Nintendo Entertainment System. Okay. The lowest temperature on Earth is recorded in Vostok Station, Antarctica, as minus 89.2 degrees Celsius, or minus 128 Fahrenheit, July 21st. Now you gotta remember, July, isn't that the summer? Not down south at the South Pole. So that's where it was. It was not that winter in 1977 in Marquette, Michigan. It was cold, but it wasn't that cold. So count yourself lucky that you weren't in Vostok Station. July 22nd, Australian Dick Smith completes his solo circumnavigation in a helicopter. He went around the world in a helicopter. How did I miss that? Okay, gonna have to go back. It sounds like a good documentary. Here's something out of Phoenix, Arizona. American West Airlines begins operation out of Phoenix, Arizona and Las Vegas, Nevada on August 1st, 1983. And American West eventually went on to become Southwest, or a few others merged in there. Go read the history of airlines. It's kind of fun. When I was putting these notes together, I go down all kinds of rabbit trails and go, what happened to America West? Yeah, it's one of those, you can kill an afternoon on the internet going around Wikipedia. I hope I say this name right. Guion Bluford becomes the first African-American in space aboard the Space Shuttle Challenger on STS-8. 2 months later, they launched another one. Wow, Challenger's really getting a workout in the early days. August 30th, that was. September 4th, 6 men walk underwater across Sydney Harbor, which is 82.9 kilometers. That is a big harbor. You would think they would just, kind of walk underneath the bridge and say, there, did that. That's like 2 kilometers. No, they took the long way, apparently. That's 51 miles. It took them 48 hours. How do you walk underwater for 48 hours? I can barely walk around the house for 6. Okay. September 15th, Huey Lewis and the News album Sports is released. We may or may not have some of those songs next week on the 1984 episode, because it was released late in 83, takes a while to get up the charts, and then they release song after song. You kind of get the idea. Not all the songs come out when I won't be singing them the year that the album was released. It's usually when they start climbing up the charts, because they have memories, and you go, yeah, that reminds me of 1983. I'm off track. Let's get back on track. President Ronald Reagan announces the Global Positioning System will be made available for civilian use September 16th, 1983. 1 day later, on September 17th, Vanessa Williams becomes the first African-American to be crowned Miss America in Atlantic City, New Jersey. U.S. heavy metal band Kiss officially appears in public without their trademark makeup for the first time on MTV on September 18th. I believe that was their Lick It Up video. Someone might have to check me on that, but that's the way my memory goes, and it doesn't say right here what it was. September 26th, 2 events happened on that day that I made note of. 1983, the Soviet nuclear false alarm incident. That's when the Soviet military officer Stanislav Petrov averts a worldwide nuclear war by correctly identifying a warning of attack by U.S. missile as a false alarm. Thank you, Stanislav Petrov, for not launching World War III. September 27th is also the day. Oh, well, that was just an indentation problem. There weren't two things that I noted. Next day, the GNU Project. GNU stands for GNU's Not Unix, which is got to get stuck in a loop with that one. The GNU Project is announced publicly on the net.unix-wizards and net.usoft news groups. Who here remembers their Usenet news groups? That's right. Okay, that takes us to the end of September and the end of that song for now. So we are going to go on. The history would have been current events when we were in school. Yeah, that's true. Did you ever have one of those history teachers that kind of like blended in? They wanted to make sure that you were watching the news that night or reading the newspaper, and then they blended in the current events with the history. And if they were really good, they could tie the two together. That almost sounds like, a pastor or a priest at church going, hey, we got this situation and the Bible tells us to do that. And okay, again, squirrel. Let's get back to singing a song. Come Dancing by the Kinks. And I want you to come dancing on this one. This is a fun one. So sing along, dance along. Let's go. Get up.
Put a parking lot on a piece of land where the supermarket used to stand. Before that they put up a bowling alley. On the side there used to be the local pally. That's where the big bands used to come and play. My sister went there on a Saturday. Come dancing. All her boyfriends used to come and go. Why not come dancing? It's only natural. Another Saturday, another day. She would be ready, but she'd always make him wait. In the hallway, in anticipation. He didn't know the night would end up in frustration. He'd end up blowing all his wages for the week, all for a cuddle and a peck on the cheek. Come dancing. That's how they did it when I was just a kid. And when they said come dancing, my sister always did. Sister should have come in at midnight, and my mom would always sit up and wait. It always ended up in a big row when my sister used to get home late. Out of my window I could see them in the moonlight, two silhouettes saying goodnight by the garden gate. The day they knocked on the pallet, my sister stood there and cried. The day they knocked on the pallet, part of my childhood died, just died.
Come on, play that.
Now I'm grown up and playing in a band, and there's a car park where the pallet used to stand. My sister's married and she lives on an estate. Her daughters go out, now it's her turn to wait. She lets them get away with things she never could. But if I asked her, I wonder if she would come dancing. Come on, sister, have yourself a ball. Don't be afraid to come dancing. It's only natural. Come dancing, just like a ballet on a Saturday. And all your friends will come dancing.
Get out those air instruments. Big finish. I saw you. You were dancing. Standing up counts. Just stand up and sway. Okay. Hang on to the table if it starts swaying without you. That's important. Oh, we already talked about that. History in school. Whew. I think that's the most effort I put into one of these songs yet. Let's have some more fun. Good thing we got that mini split last summer. Keeps it nice and cool in here. All right, a little more history, Maestro. We are into, October? We're at the end of the year already, and we're not even at the end of the songs. We're just going to have to sing about 2 or 3 in a row. I think that'll be it. October 4th, British entrepreneur Richard Noble sets a new land speed record of 633.468 miles per hour. It's over 1,000 kilometers an hour. What's that 6 to 10 thing? Driving Thrust 2 at the Black Rock Desert in Nevada. I remember that. What was the fastest one before that? The Blue Flame? Didn't you read like the Guinness Book of Records and have certain things notable? There were certain events or people that were in the Guinness Book of Records, especially the ones with the pictures. I like 2 copies of the Guinness Book of Records. That was a thick book. October 21st, the 17th General Conference on Weights and Measures. That sounds interesting, doesn't it? Well, the meter is defined in terms of the speed of light as the distance light travels in a vacuum in 1/299,792,458ths of a second. Okay, just in case you were wondering, meter, yeah, that's how fast it goes. And that's how long it takes for light to go 1 meter. Which, if you multiply things out, you can now do how many kilometers per second light travels. I usually say about 300,000. October 23rd, Beirut barracks bombing. Remember the Beirut? Oh, that was a bad day. Simultaneous suicide truck bombings destroyed both the French Army and United States Marine Corps barracks in Beirut, killing 241 U.S. servicemen, 58 French paratroopers, and 6 Lebanese civilians. October 25th, word processor software Multi-Tool Word. Do you remember that one? I'll bet you still use it today because it was soon to be renamed Microsoft Word. I did just use it today. It was released October 25th, 1983 in the US. It's primarily the work of programmers Richard Brody and Charles Simonyi. Free demonstration copies of the disc are distributed with the November issue of PC World magazine. Here's your floppy disk. I wonder if you could take a Word document from back then, assuming you still had the media or whatever, you brought it along, if you could open it up in a modern version of Word. That's an interesting question. I don't think I have a document quite that old. November 2nd, Martin Luther King Jr. Day at the White House Rose Garden. I'm going to learn to read one of these days. U.S. President Ronald Reagan signs a bill creating a federal holiday on the 3rd Monday of every January to honor American civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. It's first observed in 1986. I remember when it was still pretty new because I just started my new job in 88. And my brother's birthday was like a week later or a few days later. He goes, I got to go get my driver's license. And it happened to land on that date. He goes, poop. They're closed for this new holiday. Same day, November 2nd, Chrysler introduced the first minivan, the Dodge Caravan. Oh, some of those early models. Yeah, they were beauties, weren't they? November 3rd, Reverend Jesse Jackson announces his candidacy for the 1984 United States Democratic Party presidential nomination. Didn't win, spoiler alert. And one of my favorite Christmas movies, annual tradition, I think TBS still plays it 24 hours or more. A Christmas Story is released November 18th, 1983. Ralphie! Yep, that one. And we have another tidbit about Michael Jackson. His Thriller video. Remember the premiere of that? It was like 15 minutes long. MTV made a big deal of that. December 2nd, 1983 is when Michael Jackson... I remember going home and watching that on TV with friends. Wow, that was an event. Christ, is that Richard Noble? No, not that Richard Noble. Wow, we go way back for that one. Okay, enough of the music. Let's go do another song. Men at Work. Remember they had Down Under, and this I believe was off of their second album, but I can't remember what order they went in, but I think this was off of Cargo. So let's sing Overkill. I kind of like this song better. I don't know why.
I can't get to sleep. I think about the implications of diving in too deep, possibly the complications, especially at night. I worry over situations I know will be alright. Perhaps it's just imagination. Day after day it reappears. Night after night my heartbeat shows the fear. Goes to fear and fade away. Alone between the sheets only brings its desperation. It's time to walk the streets, smell the desperation. At least there's pretty lights, though there's little variation. It nullifies the night from overkill. Day after day it reappears. Night after night my heartbeat shows the fear. Goes to fear and fade away. Come back another day. I can't get to sleep. I think about the implications of diving in too deep, and possibly the complications, especially at night. I worry over situations that I know be alright. It's just overkill. Day after day repeat. Night after night my heartbeat shows the fear. Goes to fear and fade away. Goes to fear and fade away. Goes to fear and fade away.
You know I had to do something fun with that status bar eventually, right? That just came up out of the blue. Craig says that bar will stick at 98%. Yeah, for about 20 minutes. Like every software update you've done or downloaded a file. I don't know who comes up with the algorithms to figure those things out, but they're always wrong. Except this, that's timed out because you already know how long it's going to take to get from that many bars of the song. All right, 2 more songs to go, but we have a little bit of history to do yet, and then we'll also do a trivia question. Oh, I forgot to mention, I picked up some vinyl. You know what, we'll do that after the next song. Don't let me forget. I think we would do that, and then, yeah, we'll do that instead of the crazy holidays. Okay, I got some new vinyl. We had a hackathon last Wednesday at a used bookstore, and I found the album rack. And that was the end of that $100. Let's do the history. Play the music. All right. Oh, wait a minute. We're out of history. We already got through December. Never mind. Let's do the vinyl thing. Okay. Somewhere in very, very good shape, like Boston's album. Check this out. I mean, it's practically in the shrink wrap. I did find one that still was in the shrink wrap. I think it was a Styx album. Never removed. Still has the music inside. The vinyl is in very good shape. I looked at all of them. And for the whopping price, this one was on the expensive side, $20. So probably more than it originally cost. I'd call that an investment. But you know what? I didn't have this particular album, and I wanted it. And I believe we sang this, was it last week, or last time, or the time before? We did My Sharona. So when I saw Get the Knack, heck yeah, had to pick it up, right? There's the backside. That was a whopping $8. Ooh. Couldn't turn down Loverboy. That included Turn Me Loose. Look at this. It's still got the shrinky wrap on it. I thought that was fun. With the sticker that says, featuring Turn Me Loose and the Kid Is Hot Tonight. Okay, and they have their lovely red outfits on the back. Except this dude, he's got the yellow pants. Nobody got the memo to him in time. Just put something on in the back room. Okay, oop, I lost my soundboard. I bumped it with the album. Somewhere in a little rougher shape, like this Chicago double album, it's not supposed to do this. Okay, I don't remember exactly which number this is. Chicago numbered their albums. And maybe it says on the album itself. No, it doesn't. So, yeah, in kind of tough shape. It's open on all kinds of sides, so I don't want the vinyl to fall out of there. Also found a Pat Benatar In the Heat of the Night. Right? We remember that album cover. A lot of fun. This one included Heartbreaker, which I think I sang that as well. Always a fun one to do at karaoke as well. Found, let's see, that one, some of these were like $5. I think this was $8 also. Chicago was $3, a double album for $3. Another one on the expensive side because of the name, Queen. This is from Queen 2, which the most notable song on here I think was Seven Seas of Rye. This was another $20 special. Okay, so yeah, you can see how it adds up. Then I found this gem, More American Graffiti. There's some great songs on here. Great songs. We had Twilight Time by the Platters, Tutti Frutti by Little Richard, double album, Poison Ivy by the Coasters, Stagger Lee by Lloyd Price. And I don't know if there was like an original and this is the more, or if this is the soundtrack that goes with the movie, because the movie had some songs. I didn't really check it out. I just went, I want that. And then, of course, the classic of the first 245s I ever bought. I think I bought them at Kmart. I bought 245s off of this soundtrack. Yeah. So there you go. Xanadu. That was a $3 special. I don't know. $3. So 3, 5, 8, 10, and 20 were the various prices that I found, depending on the condition, depending on the popularity. There were a ton more albums. I mean, just racks and racks of this stuff. But they weren't really things that I was looking for. I mean, they had a lot of Tennessee Ernie Ford. You know, fun. There were, I think, 9 Bill Cosby comedy albums. So if you're looking for that, it might be a collector's item, might not. You determine. Oops, I forgot Craig's message up here. Chicago, that one has character. Yeah, that's what they call an old house, too. I'm looking for a house with character. And it's not the soundtrack of American Graffiti, but it's like additional thing. It's the companion podcast. to American Graffiti. So I did not expect to go into this bookstore. I expected to have an all-day event doing a hackathon where people build an app and we have a competition and whatnot. But on the way back to the restrooms, I saw that album rack and I got stuck. Actually, it was on the way back from the restrooms. First, I saw these computer cabinets that were about the knee high, maybe halfway up your thigh. 4 of them that they were using to put these boxes of albums on. I went, well, these are fascinating. And then I saw what was on top of them and I dove right in. Meanwhile, somebody else was doing the presentation and my name came up. I went, I'm over here. I got stuck at the album. Don't touch mine. I was a little protective of my findings because some of these are quite the gems. So I think I picked up maybe, I don't know, 2-3 inches worth of vinyl when you stack them all end to end. It cost me about $100. It was originally $126, but they made the mistake of first handing me a coupon that says $10 off any purchase in the store. And I went, great. I saved myself $10. So it's on sale, if you can use that argument. What do you say we do Stray Cat Strut? We're running a little low on time, so let's finish this up with a couple of songs. Have some fun. Everybody's got a strut.
Black and orange stray cat sitting on a fence. Ain't got enough dough to pay the rent. I'm flat broke, but I don't care. I strut right by with my tail in the air. Stray cat strut, I'm a stray cat. I'm feeling Casanova, hey! Get a shoe thrown at me from a mean old man. Get my dinner from a garbage can. Yeah, don't cross my path.
Don't let me forget that trivia question.
I don't bother chasing mice around. Oh no! I slink down the alley looking for a fight. Out into the moonlight on a hot summer night, singing the blues while the lady cats cry. Well, stray cat, you're a real gone guy. I wish I could be as carefree and wild, but I got cat class and I got cat style. I don't bother chasing mice around. I slink down the alley looking for a fight. Out into the moonlight on a hot summer night, sing the blues while the lady cats cry. Well, stray cat, you're a real gone guy. I wish I could be as carefree and wild, but I got cat class and I got cat style.
I love that ending with the fake cat sound effects. All right, trivia question. We are rounding the final turn on this horse race. I don't know who's in the lead or who's even in the race, But let's find out if we can find out. Our next question is, we got a song by Duran Duran called Rio. And just because of that, let's find out. They were inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I want to know when. You tell me, was it 2009? Was it 2012, 2018, or 2022, which is like this year? So if you know your rock and roll history, let me get it out of the way. Famous album cover. There was also a different album cover. I think they released it in the UK, which is interesting. So look that up if you will. When did they get inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? You tell me. Craig's going with 1. All right. Joan says I'm a cool cat. I got cat class and I got cat style. I wish I could be as carefree and wild. Steve is going with 2018. All right, we'll give the rest of you a chance to figure that out while I put the words back up on the screen and we close out with Rio. Don't let me forget the answer this time. I do that, and it's going to be one of those days. You get some air sax time on this one, too. Get out your air saxophones, warm them up, wet the reed. Moving on the floor now, babe, you're a bird of paradise. Cherry ice cream smile, I suppose it's very nice. With a step to your left and a flick to your right, you catch the mirror way out west. You know you're something special and you look like you're the best. Her name is Rio and she dances on the sand, just like that river twisting through dusty land. And when she shines, she really shows you all she can. Oh, Rio, Rio, dance across the Rio Grande. I didn't know either, Eric. I've seen you on the beach, and I've seen you on TV. 2 of a billion stars, it means so much to me, like a birthday or a pretty view. But then I'm sure that you know it's just for you. Her name is Rio and she dances on the sand, just like that river twisted through a dusty land. And when she shines, she really shows you all she can. Oh, Rio, Rio, dance across the Rio Grande. Here comes the saxophone. Let's see if we can pull this one. Hey now, woo, look at that. Did it nearly run you down? At the end of the drive, the lawman arrived. You make me feel
still alive, alive, alive. I'll take my chance, 'cause luck is on my side. Or something, I know what you're thinking. I tell you something, I know what you're thinking. Her name is Rio, and she dances on the sand, just like that river twists across a dusty land. And when she shines, she really shows you all she can. Oh, Rio, Rio, dance across the Rio Grande. Her name is Rio, she don't need to understand. And I might find her if I'm looking like I can. Oh, Rio, Rio, hear them shout across the land, from mountains in the north down to the Rio Grande. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Okay, I'm out. That's all she wrote. Hope you had fun with that. Join me for, yep, see, sad clipboard. Time to bring in some new songs. I'm working on it. I think I counted up 28 that I need to winnow down to 6, maybe 7 for you next week. I'll be working on that. I'll be working on the history. But hey, I said don't let me forget the trivia question answer. So let's go back to the trivia answer. When, come on, there it is. When were they inducted into the Hall of Fame? Surprise, surprise, it was this year. According to Wikipedia, anyway. And that's where I base all of my knowledge and facts. So that was a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for singing along, dancing along, doing whatever you did. Or just do like Joan. Get up and hang on to the table. Try not to sway unintentionally. All right? I will see you again next Saturday on the 26th. Why does March 26th sound familiar? See if you can figure it out. All right, until then, everybody, please stay safe. My iPad wanted to shut off again. Let's see if we can bring back up the music. There it is. Don't know why. I must have bumped it again. It turned off. Take care. Stay safe. I will talk to you again really, really soon. Maybe in a week, if everything goes well. Take care. Bye.